Hello, Rabbit Rouge, Starcraft Broodwar Remastered laddercast for you today, and it is again a BSL qualifier, and this time we are tuning into the exploits of the slowest S-rank player probably in the world, quite well known as Kwark. He is originally British, lives in the US, and he is playing against a Terran with the alias WWWW, you catch my drift, and they are on Dominator 1.1. So watching Kwark play, he is a pretty much counters only, read your player and respond style type player, mechanically very, very slow, but generally has a good sense of reading the game, and that's what he's pretty well known for. So has competed at a high level in some BSLs in the past, and probably at his peak was about a 2550 in terms of MMR. Here he's just playing on his BSL qualifying account. He's definitely way less active today than he was once, so I expect his level to obviously not necessarily be as good as it can be. Another hallmark of his game is his mining optimization, building timing. So what he sort of lacks in mechanical ability, he makes up for in a lot of the other subtle skills in the game, like mining well, getting good building timings, hitting optimizations on build orders, things like that. And even though he'll say he only plays at 100 APM, something that I notice that he also does very well is he manages to keep his scouting probe alive. So a lot of people who play low APM struggle with that the most, and it is massively underestimated in my view, the importance of keeping your scouting probe alive. If you can keep a scouting probe alive for the first 4 to 4.5 minutes of the game, the advantage that gives you and the information that gives you in the game and the ability to read what your opponent is doing is quite large. So definitely worth noting at this stage. So Kwark just seems to be going with a very, very standard opening here. He's starting his Dragoon. This seems to be skipping range, so it'll probably be a 21 expansion. So as I talk up how good he is at keeping his scouting probe alive, of course he loses it because that's commentator's curse. But yeah, that's something I've watched many of his games that he's pretty good at, which is what allows him to sort of take the decisions that he takes. He's facing a bit of harassment here from the SCV. Meanwhile, our Terran has all the information he needs to safely expand, seeing that he's not likely to face any pressure anytime soon. Goon does come and clean it up, and we do a 21 expand. I expect this is a bit suboptimal. He's got 300 gas banked up. We will see a robo next, and then we will see range. So yeah, at time of recording, it's about the 15th of November. A couple of the players that are quite well known in the North American and foreign scene, like Gypsy, Tortoise, Kwark, Jumper, they all played on BSL accounts for a while, so I'll be bringing a few of those qualifying games in the next little while. Just a chance for me to get familiar with what these players have been up to, and for also just to be able to easily identify and know exactly who's playing. So, our robo is incoming. I just don't see where. Must be right here. Yeah. The other thing I do enjoy about Kwark's play is his SimCity and building placement, which as a Protoss player can be a bit of a tricky art to learn. So has a Dragoon here, I suppose mainly for scouting purposes. This is a very, very early turret. Like if this guy knows who Kwark is, he doesn't play with Reavers. So, you know, unless he's fearing some sort of DT play, which he didn't see a spinning core, so perhaps that's why he's making this, just to be safe. So it's a bit of a safety turret, but if you start to see turrets in the main, also he's made an academy, so he could have made scanners. So I think a little bit suboptimal here, but obviously if you don't know what your opponent's tendencies are, you tend to just plan for all possibilities. Second gateway on the way, range on the way, observatory on the way. So that's Kwark's style in PVT. Very fast observer. Tries to get the observer into the main of the Terran to know exactly what he's facing, and he's going to be very, very, very surprised when he flies in and he sees 4 barracks. Holy crap. Okay, well, that's new. I did not know that this was going to be a goofy game, but here we go. So it's going to be Tortoise versus Marine Medic Man in the PVT. So I'm actually quite looking forward to this because Kwark does not like to play with Reavers because of his APM. So let's see what he does. Range is on the way. It's got two gates going, so it's 2-gate observer, which is his preference. And then based on what his observer sees, he either expands to 4 expansions or 3. And scales up, and he likes to play Arbiter, really. Occasionally carrier, depending on the map. But this, I mean, I have no words. I have no words. This is going to be so fun to see. But also he's going to scout this pretty late. And when he does, I want to see how he adjusts his build order. Oh, okay, so nicely avoids that. You see, his APM's 165 here, so he's still carrying on with his build. Ta-da! Look, it's all the Marine Medics. Now what? He had a Citadel building anyway, so his immediate response is to add 2 gateways, get Zealot legs, and get a forge so that he can make cannons, and get a Templar archive so he can go Archon or Storm. So that's how he's going to respond to this. So did you see how quickly, just by looking at the production tab, that observer told him exactly what he needs to respond to? That observer's now gone, so it was obviously scanned. And the Terran knows that his window of surprise is very narrow. The other thing that Kwark's pretty good at is knowing when to expand and when not to. I think he's identified here that this is not the time to expand. This is the time to survive this push, because he would understand that Terran has sacrificed heaps of economy to pull off this timing attack. So let's see what happens. I'm going to get rid of my window here to try and see this attack. The observer did actually survive. He just flew back out again to monitor the move out. So my apologies for just assuming that it was killed. And here we go. No Reavers needed. As I said, he just almost refuses to play Reavers. He's getting a DT, but scanners are going to neutralize that. I think he was expecting to shot down a 3rd here, but as I've said before, Kwark never takes his 3rd before his observer's flown into Terran's base. That's just his style of play. And that's probably one of the reasons, because these weird things can be caught. And now we're running up a camp here, and we're starting to make SCVs behind this. So we just made 2 more SCVs. A couple of bunkers. So yeah, this is the ladder, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, 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 welcome. 3 bunkers? Yeah, 3 bunkers. Here goes DT. I wonder what the DT is going to be. Just a scout, I guess. Keep an eye on him. So it seems to just be wanting to try and contain the Protoss as opposed to anything else. I don't want to miss what he's doing. This is the weirdest PVT you'll probably ever see. Like that. I think kind of captures the idea. You're never ever going to see anything like this. Except if you're on the ladder, kids. Okay, are we going to stop? No, no, where are you going? Wait, what? What? Ah, okay. So he's basically doing a run-by. This is interesting. So Kwark's plan is to run past all of this. I didn't see what happened to the DT. Ah, he just stayed there. Alright, so we're going to probably target down this turret. This is the only place there's a fight for the time being. DT does get in. Firebats tidy him up. It does force a liftoff, but he's back, and now the mining will resume. Kwark firing down some of his own constraints here. I think just he wants a cleaner surface area to try and move out. I wouldn't be surprised to see a shuttle. That's a nice little storm there. Okay, this cannon's destroying this. I think he just wants the spot to move out cleaner. Observer's still there. Alright, here we go. Big fight. Big fight, big fight. Storms. Another storm. Didn't get much penetration there, did he? It's so many. It's so many bunkers, bro. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. What a crazy game. What do you do? Reavers, bro. Reavers is the only solution here, and he just will not make them. Terran hasn't gone and sort of laid mines or put a marine in all the spotting bases here for a sneaky expansion, which I think is probably my only critique of the somewhat sort of smothering style that he's playing here. But he is using these scanners though, so I think that'll help him understand where the bases are and are not. Going again, but he can't get his goons to line up in a nice neat line and hit the bunkers and stay out of range. Like, it's just, oh mate, the pathing is super frustrating. Why? Like, a storm is not the option here, man. It's Reavers. If he would have had 6 Reavers by now and he could have just blown his way out of this. I do not understand for the life of me why you wouldn't just go Reavers. You don't need to micro them. They can just crawl, bro. I think Storm would be a decent complement, but Reavers is how you break the bunkers. He's also getting tanks here just to make this even worse. So what I was saying that the Terran hadn't done, he's done it exactly how I wanted him to. Putting Marines in every single expansion spot. Perfectly done. So he definitely knows how to do this mother game. I wonder if he played this game on stream. People are screaming at him. Just make Reavers, bro! Come on! In what world are you planning to trade your way out of this? Like, in what world? Just make a Reaver, please, man. Just one. Please. That's so funny. These kinds of games on ladder are actually very common. Which is one of the reasons why I showcase and I ask community what kind of games you want to see, because to me this is way more entertaining than watching pros. Especially if you've played the game. And you're not the one that needs to endure the ladder pain. So the one thing I will say about our Terran is that he has got ample opportunity here to increase his SCV count and his base count, because it's going to be difficult for Protoss to break out of here. Although this is the most promising attack that we've seen from our Protoss so far. But still, if he just keeps the tank count up and just spreads his tanks nicely with a few SCVs to repair, this is still just a very, very strong contain. Oh! Those goons just blew up. Does hit a decent storm. Just one Reaver, man. Just one. I'm just asking so. Please. Please, dude. Just the Reaver. Just one. Still hasn't expanded behind this. Has slowly increased his SCV count. I expect he will expand fairly soon, will our Terran. This is not gonna happen. His bunkers are just too strong. With the tanks killing the goons, forget it. It's over. Oh, I'm absolutely flabbergasted that a player with his intelligence couldn't just go Reavers. Adding a factory, adding an armory, adding a turret just over here. I mean, even carriers would have been a better solution than this. You just did a line of cannons with some storm, and then you transitioned into carriers. Like, everything other than this storm, zealot, goon option, reavers, carriers, all would have been a better bet than what he's done thus far. He's going to eventually siege up in range of these pylons as well. Well, Dominator certainly does lead itself to being dominated. Some sort of domination joke in here somewhere. There we go. Getting close to being in range now. There we go. Can hit the cannon. He is making a shuttle. What he wants to put in the shuttle is the question. Yeah, he's mined out. Yep, let's cut a marine here for this purpose. So forget about expanding there, my friend. Okay, so we've dropped a few units behind here. Presumably to try and expand. Terran now taking a third. I think is a good call. Can start to hit units as they come out of the rally. Does throw a storm down on this tank and get rid of him. This other tank's just sort of wandering to his death. Okie dokie. Little pod of units just chilling here. I think he's just moving forward. There's nothing really here to defend. That's storm. Marine Medics are moving forward. Targeting down the High Templars, and this is where Kwark's APM does certainly hold him back. He's busy moving these units around. I don't think he's focusing too heavily on this fight. Does try and expand here, but I think it's just a matter of time before he moves down some units to take that out. Let's clean off that tank nicely. Could even nuke him. That'd be hilarious. Let's try and deny the space. Couple of units entering the fray here though. Really a very small pod. Unloading some probes. does seem to have been able to establish this base, despite me thinking that that was going to be very, very difficult to do. So now all that our Terran needs to do really is macro up, get an army, and just knock this down. Got one source of income. That's not very complicated. Oh, that was a good storm. This Terran's definitely making heavy weather of this. Yeah, unloads all these bunkers, because defending this position now is worthless, so might as well just throw the kitchen sink at it. Consolidating all his units, and I think he's either going to move in on the main, or this mining position. Does try and expand again, which I think is his only option. Moves into the main where all the production is. Pretty much left undefended. He's going to try and cut off and flank some of these units here, or is he going to try and intercept reinforcements? He does. There's a couple of tanks that are going to be taken down here, but here goes all his stuff basically. So it's all very well you get yourself a mining base, but if you've got no production, no supply, it's not going to help you a whole lot, is it? So his Hail Mary to take down this base. Here we go. Stop! Stop! Please stop! There we go. Damn. Kills a whole heap of SCVs. Kills a heap more SCVs. Pretty much killed 20 SCVs with those two storms. Very nice. Even the DT is here to defend the day. Come on, man. Scan the DTs, boys. There we go. So he's killed all his money. He's still mining a little over there. And he has killed all his units. Skipped a couple of Marines in here. Don't really know what the strategic value of inefficiently trading with these bunkers is, but so be it. So unloaded 2 goons here. Got 1 cannon here. Oh, nice storm. Couple more decent fights here as well. Supplies now are actually even. Kwark's even pulled ahead in supply, and he's got 2 mining bases here. So, like, what the actual hell's going on here? Like, surely Terran has just got this in the bag. Like, is this real life? He's got a few more SCVs that he's getting on the go. Kwark could, in theory, rebuild his main. I don't think Terran has enough to break him here. He's getting his tech up and running again. Got a pylon here. There is a Marine spotting there. But in terms of unit, I mean, he's got like 1 mining base. 19 SCVs. Does not have enough to break this. Cannon on the way there. Yeah, it's gonna easily, with a bit of storm. I actually cannot believe what I'm seeing. Like, based on this, I think Kwark is ahead. And I'm just absolutely blown away. I've never seen a swing in a game like this game. I'm gonna try and land a command center over here. Tidies up that Marine. I think he could double expand. I think he needs to. And then get that worker count up, redistribute. And the game almost restarts. I think he's only got 20 SCVs. Shows that he's not... like, unless he's going to float this all the way here, which he could do. Ah, pure whiff. Very nice. There's no ways now that I think Protoss can lose. He's basically rebuilt his macro engine with soon to be 3 mining bases. And all Terran's doing is playing catch up. He's got an observer there. He's kept the observer alive most of the game. He's now actually going to try and shut this position down, and I think he'll succeed because Terran has now had to take a defensive posture. Because he doesn't have any units. Got a handful of tanks. About 6 tanks and a few Marines, and that's it. He's gonna have to float this away. It's a really good base denial play there by Kwark. Gonna kill this barracks, which is probably surplus to supply requirements anyway. 1, 2, 3, nearly 4 mining bases. Do 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 do. It's got a lot of angles. It's only picking one though. It's just Goon Storm, but there's not a lot of units here. He's only got +1 on these tanks, so... Kwark got 3-2. That was the one thing he did do well while being contained, is he kept going with his upgrades. That was the one upside of not spending any money on any Reavers, and Terran has tapped out. Oh my god. I don't know if you can call it the biggest throw of all time or of the century or what that was, but that was unbelievable. I often exaggerate for the sake of like thumbnails and stuff to say that I've never seen anything like this, but genuinely I've never ever seen a game like that. That was one of the most crazy PVTs I've ever watched. If you stuck with me through watching this, thank you so much. I genuinely thought Kwark played a terrible game by not responding with Reavers. I thought the Hail Mary of dropping out some units and trying to expand with it entirely mined out. But the Terran just totally threw this, because when he had him on the ropes, he just needed to expand, go up to 60 SCVs, build a few factories, get some economic power, but he got arrogant and thought the game was over, and it cost him dearly. This is still a great lesson in this game. You can be miles ahead and still lose. Anyway, I'm Rabbit Ruth. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'm going to be targeting more and more of these fun games. I'm trying to be the non-typical YouTube caster. Please join me on my journey if you so want to, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.